Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Who should stay at Manchester United in the summer transfer window and who should go? Now I think the players that should stay, I think Luke Shaw, he definitely needs to stay because Luke Shaw has been one of our best players this season. He's been player of the season by far. You know, Luke Shaw's showed good attacking intent. He's got into very good positions. His crossing's been superb. And defensively, he's been superb. We are set to offer Luke Shaw a new contract to bring him closer to the club's top earners. We're preparing to enter contract talks. Luke Shaw has just 2 years left on his current contract. And he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Obviously when we got Alex Telles in last summer, a lot of Man United fans, including me, expected Telles to be our first choice left back. Luke Shaw's had a good career at Manchester United apart from his injuries. He's been at Manchester United over 6 years now. We got Luke Shaw for around £31 million from Southampton back in 2014. Now I definitely think Dean Henderson should stay. I think he's got a long-term future at Manchester United. I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number one because he has got that experience behind him and he did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. Before the start of this season, Dean Henderson signed a 6-year contract with the club. Dean Henderson has done well in the games he's been involved in this season. He started our last 6 games. But Dean Henderson, you know, he's kept a lot of clean sheets. His distribution's been good. And he's made some good aerial claims. Harry Maguire, I think he should stay. Because he has enjoyed some good games this season. He's also enjoyed bad games as well. I can assure we overpaid for Harry Maguire. Because we got him in a deal worth £80 million. He's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club, just behind Pogba. But when Maguire plays well, defensively he can be good. He can be good from set pieces. He can make good clearances. And he can be effective in the air. Now, Eric Bailly, I think he should stay. But there's a good chance he will leave Man United in the summer transfer window because Eric Bailly is furious with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Because he feels disrespected and not wanted by Solskjaer. Now Bailly says we've only offered him a new contract simply so we can increase his asking price. Bailly has just 15 months left on his current contract. I'd like him to stay because he is a very good centre-half and I certainly prefer him to Lindelof. But my element of concern about Eric Bailly, he's too injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. We got Bailly in 2016 from Villarreal. We paid £30 million for him. Now on Wan-Bissaka, I definitely think he should stay, which he will. I think he's got a long-term future at Manchester United. And Wan-Bissaka just needs to show more attacking intent, you know, to get to the next level. And in some games this season, he has showed some good attacking intent. His crossing's been good and he's got into good positions. Defensively, and Wan-Bissaka has more or less always been superb. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth £50 million from Crystal Palace in the summer of 2019. Now, Scott McTominay, I think he should stay, which I think he will. He's a decent player, McTominay, but he's not at that level as yet. But McTominay's still young. He's got a lot of development in him, and he has enjoyed some good games this season for Man United. His best game by far was the 6-2 win against Leeds. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract with the club. Now, Paul Pogba, I think he should stay at Manchester United potentially past the summer, because Paul Pogba is a very imperative player. And before Paul Pogba got that thigh injury, we was getting the best out of him. He's obviously now back from that thigh injury. Because without Paul Pogba in the team, we do lack creativity. And we are far too defensive. Earlier on this season, Pogba had an ankle injury, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So he's sustained a few injuries now at Manchester United. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is hopeful that Paul Pogba will stay at Manchester United and sign a new contract. We have been in negotiations with Pogba over a new contract, but we've not yet made a formal contract offer. Now, Paul Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, held talks with Juventus last week in Milan, and I said there's a good chance that Paul Pogba will go back to Juventus. He endured 4 good years with them before he rejoined Manchester United. He's also been linked with a move to Real Madrid, and he's been linked with a move to PSG. Now, if we sell him in the summer transfer window, I reckon we'll get from between 60 to 70 million pounds. Pogba is our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid 89 million pounds for him, and this is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. Now, Mino Raiola, he's desperate to get his client out of the club. He did say earlier on this season that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season, but he made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid any offence, because Mino Raiola doesn't have a good relationship with Man United and he's been criticised a lot. He made an announcement back in December regarding Paul Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig in the Champions League. Matthias Pogba, Paul Pogba's brother, he gave us an update on Paul Pogba's future earlier on this season, and he actually advised us to sell Paul Pogba this summer because he said there's a good chance he'll leave for free next year and he's got no intentions of signing a new contract. But Paul Pogba is under contract with Man United until June 2022 because earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Like I've said in regards to Pogba, he's more effective on the left wing, in more of an advanced role. Paul Scholes said the exact same thing not so long ago. Now Fred, I think he should stay at Manchester United. He could leave though in the summer transfer window. Fred had an abysmal game against Leicester in the FA Cup quarter-final. Probably is his worst game in a Manchester United shirt because Fred was accountable for Leicester's first goal and he gave the ball away countless times. And I'm kind of sure he wasn't worth the £52 million that we got him for from Shakhtar Donetsk. But Fred has had some good games as a Man United player, and I think he has improved. So, nah, I wouldn't sell him in the summer transfer window. But he's definitely not at that level as yet. I said the same thing, didn't I, regarding McTominay. Bruno Fernandes, he'll stay. I don't know how long he'll stay at Man United for, hopefully for the long term. Bruno Fernandes is our best player and is the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era because he has made the difference in the team. When Bruno Fernandes plays well, he scores goals, he creates chances, his movement's very good, his passing's good. But there's been a few games where he has looked off the pace, Bruno Fernandes. There was narratives coming out earlier on this season saying that Fernandes was refusing to sign a new contract until he has assurances over the club's transfer plans. He says we was willing to double his wages to £200,000 a week. Fernandes' current contract expires in 2025. There's an option to extend for a further 12 months. We initially paid £47 million for him, but the overall cost with add-ons is just over £67 million. But he has been at Man United now a good 14 months, is it? Fernandes did say on his 12-month anniversary that he's planning on spending many years at Man United. But Fernandes made it clear, he said he came to Manchester to win trophies, so he denied that he needed a rest. Mason Greenwood, definitely he will stay. I think Mason Greenwood's got a long-term future at Man United. I've been very, very impressed with him recently. But in general, I've been impressed with him since he broke into our first team squad. Mason Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7. And earlier on this season, he signed a new 4-year contract with Man United. And he deserved a new contract reflecting on his good performance. He scored a very good goal against Leicester recently. Solskjaer's been defending him a lot this season, you know. Sometimes we play Mason Greenwood on the right wing, sometimes we play him centrally. Marcus Rashford, he'll stay. Marcus Rashford's a very, very good player. Obviously enjoys his bad periods when he's not quite on it. But Rashford's still young, got a lot of development in him. Marcus Rashford's actually out with injury at the moment. Not so long ago, he sustained an ankle injury in our 2-0 win against City. He had a back problem last season, so he sustained a few injuries now. When we play Rashford, we just need to keep him on that left-hand side because that's where he's more effective. A few times we put him on the right-hand side, not very effective there. Sometimes we play him centrally, and I'm not keen on Marcus Rashford playing centrally. Marcus Rashford's been part of the club for several years. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Edison Cavani. I think we should keep him for next season, but he could leave us in the summer transfer window. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has revealed that we have been in contract talks with Edison Cavani, because Solskjaer's hopeful he will stay for next season. Now, Football Insider recently said that Cavani had reached a verbal agreement to join Boca Juniors at the end of the season. Cavani's current contract expires with Man United in June, so we sell him in the summer transfer window, we will receive a transfer fee. Solskjaer did say earlier on this season that Cavani was close to Boca Juniors than staying at Manchester United, and his father came out a few weeks ago, Cavani's, and said that Cavani is unhappy at the club and he's not comfortable in England and he wants to leave. Cavani's had a few injuries now at Man United, but I think he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. His hold-up play is good. He can create chances, his movement's good, and he can score very, very good goals. We got him on a free transfer. He signed a 1-year contract with an option of a 2nd year. Now, Lindelof, probably he should stay, potentially past the summer. I've criticised Victor Lindelof a lot, but I think he's actually been impressive recently. You know, he's looked good alongside Maguire recently. But I do have my strong reservations about him. He isn't the long-term future for Man United, so I'd say probably sell Lindelof at some point next year. You know, Lindelof has been at the club a few years now. We got Victor Lindelof in a deal worth £31 million from Benfica. Alex Telles will stay. I know Alex Telles has played nowhere near as much as we expected, but when Telles does play, he can play well. You know, Telles can get forward well, he can get into good positions, defensively he can be good. We got Telles in a deal worth £15.4 million. Obviously, Amad Diallo Traore will stay, and I want him to stay because I've said in regards to Amad Diallo Traore, looks a very good asset for the first team. Scored his first goal for the football club in our 1-1 draw with AC Milan in the Europa League round of 16 first leg. It was a good goal as well, very good header and good through ball from Bruno Fernandes. We got Amad Diallo Traore in a deal worth £37 million. We paid £19 million up front, the rest was in add-ons. So they're the players I think should stay at Manchester United. Now, I think the players we should sell is Anthony Martial. Definitely sell him because he's been out of form for the vast majority of this season. He's had chances, but he hasn't converted them. I think Man United are ready to sell Anthony Martial. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer backed him to rediscover his form, and he said he's been impressed with Anthony Martial's work rate. We got Anthony Martial for £54 million from Monaco back in 2015. So he's now been at the club over 5 years. Martial was good last season, and he was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. I think it was last season Solskjaer gave him that number 9 shirt. Martial's under contract with the club until 2024. But we sell him in the summer transfer window. I reckon we'll get around 30 million. Sell Juan Mata, because Juan Mata doesn't get in our 11 now, and obviously he's lost that yard of pace. Juan Mata's current contract expires in June. The club do have an option to trigger his contract for a further year. But earlier on this season, Solskjaer said he wasn't surprised that Juan Mata was linked to a move away from the club, and I heard that 3 Italian clubs were in for him. Earlier on this season, he rejected an £18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia, but I think Mata's had his years at Man United. I think he's had a good career at the club. He's been at the club now, is it 7 years? We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2014, so we brought him in under the David Moyes era. Nemanja Matic, I think we definitely need to sell him in the summer transfer window, because he's not one of our first choice midfielders, and analysing the vast majority of his games at Man United, he's been very, very inconsistent. He's had a few good games, and I think the club did make a mistake by giving him that new 3-year contract before the start of this season, I think it was. But Matic has always been a slow player, so that's why I've got strong reservations about him, and plus he's ageing up. He's been at the club almost 4 years now. We got him in a deal worth £40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. I think we should definitely sell Phil Jones, because Phil Jones doesn't get in our team. Jones is the only outfield player that's still with us from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. This is Jones' 10th season at the club. He's always been inconsistent as Phil Jones. Jones has been out of injury for over a year. I think we should sell Donny van de Beek, because you know, Donny van de Beek's not getting enough chances at Manchester United, and Mark Hughes has obviously come out and spoke about it, and he says that Donny van de Beek is lost at Manchester United, and he says that Donny van de Beek is edging closer to a Man United exit. Now, not so long ago, it said that Donny van de Beek felt loved at Manchester United despite his lack of game time, but prior to that, it says that Donny van de Beek wants to quit Man United after just one season due to his lack of game time, and he wanted to hold showdown talks with Ed Woodward. Earlier on this season, Solskjaer made an admission saying that Donny van de Beek is unhappy at the club, but he promised him more game time at Man United, and ESPN said back in January that we rejected several loan offers for Van de Beek because we was reluctant to let him go. But most of his appearances have come from the bench. You know, he's only started 2 games in the league this season. If he was playing more, I'd definitely say keep Donny van de Beek, but he's not, is he? He did start against Leicester, played a part in Greenwood's goal, but prior to that, very quiet. We got him in a deal worth £40 million, paid £35 million up front, and there was £5 million in add-ons, and he's versatile, he can play in 3 different roles. There's obviously been narratives coming out recently about a possible swap deal between Donny van de Beek and Erling Haaland. You know, Man United are interested. Now, De Gea, I think he needs to go in the summer transfer window so we can make Dean Henderson our first choice goalkeeper. I think De Gea has now had his years at Manchester United. You know, he's enjoyed, 9.5 seasons at the club. This is his 10th season, I think, at Man United. A few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. But in the last couple of years, he's become a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. But he's won everything domestically at the football club. You know, he's made over 500 appearances for us in all competitions. There was narratives coming out the other week saying that we're willing to listen to offers for De Gea. I reckon we'll get from between £50 to £60 million if we sell him in the summer transfer window, and I think there's a good chance he'll go back to Spain. Jesse Lingard, get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan at West Ham at the moment, and Diego Dalot, we also need to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with AC Milan at the moment. So they're the players I think Man United should sell. But this year's summer transfer window is huge for Manchester United. I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer transfer window. We've identified 5 key transfer targets, so we're looking to bring a striker in, we're looking to bring a right winger in, we're looking to bring a holding midfielder in, we're looking to bring a centre-half in, and I heard that we're looking to bring a right-back in to provide competition for Wan-Bissaka, because Wan-Bissaka is the only recognised right-back at the club. Our transfer budget has been revealed, it's just £80 million. A lot of Man United fans are shocked in that aspect. Probably was expecting more than that, and I know £80 million is nowhere near enough for us to get the players we want to recommend in. So this is why I said Solskjaer's planning to sell at least 4 players to bolster our transfer budget, and he hopes to raise as much as £60 million, so that would take our transfer budget to £140 million. Probably Solskjaer will still be Man United manager in the summer transfer window. Obviously, Woodward did a statement earlier on this season, and he says the progress by Solskjaer and the players this season is clear. So, in that aspect, Woodward is backing him. And Woodward's come out several times to show his support for Ollie, and even enduring them bad periods, he assured that Solskjaer's job was safe, because Our board have got a soft stance on Ollie, with him being a club legend. Disregarding being a club legend, our board would have been a lot more ruthless than him. You know, we've enjoyed very bad periods under Ollie where you can turn around and say, yeah, he was lucky not to be sacked. The only reason he's still Man United manager anyway is because he is a club legend, so that's what saved him. But yeah, if he's Man United manager in the summer transfer window, I'm expecting him to get good backing, because obviously we've got John Murtough in as our director of football, and John Murtough knows the club inside out. He's our first ever director of football, by the way. And Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director, and he knows the club through thick and thin. So there you go. I don't think Solskjaer's been backed enough so far, though. He has endured 4 transfer windows as permanent Man United manager, and he has spent almost £300 million. But there has been quite a lot of players on our agenda, hasn't there? You obviously know the news on Erling Haaland. He's a type of calibre player that Man United need. Earlier on today, I give you the news on Harry Kane. Man United could sign Harry Kane in the summer transfer window, because apparently Harry Kane wants to leave Tottenham because he's unhappy. David Ornstein, who's reliable, he's come out and spoke about Harry Kane. And he says, you know, he wants to leave Tottenham. He said he's committed with Tottenham, but he wants to win trophies, and he's not experiencing this at Tottenham. We'll have to probably pay in the excess of 120 million to convince Tottenham to offload Harry Kane. Pedro Neto from Wolves, he's on our agenda, and we're seeing him as an alternative to Jadon Sancho. Apparently we're willing to pay £50 million plus for him. Declan Rice, I'd certainly take him at Manchester United. He said not so long ago that Solskjaer had agreed with the new recruitment team that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. You know, we've got quite a few centre-halves on our agenda. You know, Raphael Varane would certainly take him, but I don't see us getting Varane. I'd certainly take Jules Koundé from Sevilla. I'm not sure if we'll get him. So look, with quite a lot of the players we are linked with, I would take at Manchester United. But like I've said, in regards to Solskjaer, I don't think he's the long-term manager for Man United. And there's a good chance Solskjaer will be sacked if we fail to win the Europa League, because the Europa League is our only chance of winning any silverware this season. Solskjaer needs to win a trophy to mark progress, so I'm saying the exact same thing as what Gary Neville said not so long ago. Solskjaer's not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager, and we haven't won a trophy since 2017. If we win the Europa League, then Solskjaer will be given another season at the club. Even if we don't win it, he could still be here next season, but like I said, there's a good chance he will be sacked. But there is a lot of Manchester United fans that are demanding Ollie out, because Ollie outs have been trending on social media. And obviously they've got the main explanations why they want the manager out. There's always reasons behind it. Obviously can't sack him at this moment in time, because as far as I'm aware at the moment there is no one available to replace him. Solskjaer's already agreed to sign a new contract worth £9 million a year, so he's being given a pay rise. Sources at Old Trafford said not so long ago that talks are set to begin any day on the new deal, because I think Ollie's now into the final year of his 3-year contract. But does he deserve a new contract? In some aspects, yeah. In some aspects, no. reflecting how long Solskjaer's been Man United manager, he has gained some managerial experience and he's learned quite a bit on the job, but he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. And he doesn't have that big club arrogance, does he? You know, before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. He only endured a short tenure with Cardiff. I can assure we'll finish in the top 4 this season. That's good. We've got a good chance of finishing second. But we have got to credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in quite a few aspects, like I've mentioned before. We're second in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. He got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. He's got us to the Europa League quarter-final. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Did well last season in his first full season at the club. You know, made some good signings. Also got rid of a lot of players since he's come in. And we've also enjoyed very, very good periods under him. So you've got to credit him for that. And I think he is the best manager since Ferguson. He really is. But I do think that Solskjaer's in a position he shouldn't be really in. And the club probably made a mistake by giving him the job permanently. But nothing's changed with Man United in the last 8 years. It's just been an ongoing cycle of inconsistency. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.